This is the story of a forgotten secret society that almost altered the course of world history. And no, this isn't just a fascinating plot from a Hollywood movie. It's an untold chapter so peculiar, so fascinating, that it's barely whispered among enthusiasts of history. Today we dive deep into the mystifying tale of the Circle of Concord. Never heard that name before? Well, that's exactly why you should stick around. Let's rewind to the late 18th century, a period of revolutions, philosophies, and the dawn of modern governance. Amidst this backdrop, a shadowy organization emerged in Central Europe. Known as the Circle of Concord, this was no ordinary club. Its members were an eclectic mix: disillusioned noblemen, brilliant scientists, writers, and even former spies. Their mission, as lofty as it was controversial, to erase national boundaries and elevate humanity to a single global brotherhood, a united Earth, if you will. Now, about the origins of this mysterious society. The Circle of Concord is thought to have been established in the mid-1780s, somewhere in Bohemia, in what is now part of the Czech Republic. The founding members were allegedly influenced by both the Enlightenment ideals and older, more obscure, mystical traditions. While they debated deeply philosophical ideas, they also sought pragmatic solutions for world peace, economic equity, and technological advancement. These weren't just dreamers, they were working on actionable plans. But what made them truly intriguing, and indeed controversial, was their secretive nature. Meetings were held in isolated castles, behind heavy locked doors, with coded invitations sent to members. Those who entered the circle were swearing lifelong dedication to its cause. Yet unlike secret societies aiming for global conquest or religion-based reforms, this group pursued something even more nuanced: a rewrite of the world order. Can you imagine that? A roadmap for utopia created by a small, secretive group in the heart of Europe. Yet their ambitions caught the attention of the powers that be. Back then, Europe's elite, the monarchs and church leaders, were in no mood to entertain groups discussing the dissolving of nations, let alone world peace through egalitarian principles. Rumors about the group's activities soon spread like wildfire. Were they anarchists seeking to dissolve the church's authority? Were their intentions noble, or were they merely idealistic radicals blinded by their own ambitions? Nobody truly knew. Let's talk about how their ideas worked. They allegedly created a unified codex, a massive manuscript containing all the guiding principles they proposed for a united world. This document, a fusion of philosophy, politics, and science, also held architectural sketches of ideal cities, strategies for eliminating class divisions, and groundbreaking theories on economics. It's said the text was so ahead of its time, it resembled concepts we associate with global institutions formed 2 centuries later. But how did the group plan to achieve their world-changing goals? Secret correspondence shows that they had a multi-pronged strategy. First, they wanted to infiltrate influential positions in monarchies, educational institutions, and trade networks. They believed that gradual influence, rather than outright uprising, was the most effective way to unite humanity. Secondly, they focused on technological development. Science, they thought, could serve as a crucial equalizer, reducing the disparities between nations. And now, here's where things take a dark turn. As whispers of their activities traveled across Europe, the Circle of Concord found themselves under scrutiny. Governments, including that of Austria, began cracking down on intellectuals and alleged conspirators believed to be associated with the group. Many intellectual gatherings were raided, manuscripts destroyed, and people jailed or exiled. It seemed as though the group was suffocating under the increasing pressures of authoritarian regimes. Perhaps the hardest blow came in 1794, with an unfortunate betrayal from within. A disillusioned member, whose identity remains shrouded in mystery, leaked vital information to the authorities. This led to coordinated raids across several European cities, including Vienna and Prague. Much of the Circle's unified codex was believed to have been seized and subsequently lost or destroyed by the authorities. So did this mean the end of the Circle of Concord? Officially, yes. By the early 19th century, there were barely any traces left of an organized effort by the group. However, tantalizing clues suggest their influence may have survived in subtler forms. For instance, some modern researchers have pointed out possible links between the Circle's work and the framework behind early international cooperation models in Europe. Coincidence? Perhaps. But history leaves behind strange echoes. Now, let's address the elephant in the room. Why don't we read about the Circle of Concord in our history books? Some hypothesize that the group's history was intentionally suppressed by the powers of the time. Others argue that their idealistic vision simply became overshadowed by the practical challenges of revolutions, wars, and shifting dynasties. Either way, we're left with fragments of a story so compelling, it's hard to believe it's not more widely known. It makes you wonder, though, what if they had succeeded? Could nation-states have given way to a single entity long before institutions like the United Nations came into existence? Would their ideas have led to enduring peace, or would such an experiment have collapsed under its complexity? Today, the traces of the Circle of Concord remind us of the audacity of human imagination, the ability to dream beyond visible horizons and attempt to reimagine society from scratch. Whether you view them as visionaries or misguided utopians, their ambition serves as a mirror. It compels us to question our own systems and wonder whether it's ever truly possible to start over. So the next time you come across a forgotten corner of history, think about this. For every conquered king and revolutionary battle, there are countless whispers of thinkers and societies attempting the impossible. The Circle of Concord is just one such whisper, drowned out by the louder roars of history, yet profoundly significant in its quiet aspirations. Who knows? Maybe they weren't so far ahead of their time, after all. Maybe we're just catching up. Fascinating history brings you tales like this for one particular reason: to remind us that some of the most extraordinary stories are the ones we've forgotten to tell. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more untold chapters of human history. Until next time, keep exploring the mysteries of our past.